Good evening, everybody. Oh, I should look over here because the camera's over here. How's everyone doing tonight? It is Saturday. It was a beautiful day here in Austin, and I'm excited for tonight's live. So I wanted to come on tonight and speak about a question that was asked of me recently. Since I've been putting myself out there more this week, the question was brought up, what exactly is it that I do? So that is a great question. I forget that I'm friends with over 1,000 people on Facebook and not everybody knows what I do. So as much as, hi Michelle, as much as I would like to think we're all best friends, that's actually not the reality, although I would love to have you as my friend. So I wanted to talk about what exactly it is that I do. So on the surface, you could say I'm a hairstylist and makeup artist and healer or energy worker. I don't really like to call myself a healer because I don't heal people. I hold the space for people to heal themselves, and I sort of open a door for them to realize what they might need in their life. So, I help people to get started on the path of actually knowing themselves. So we go to grade school, we go to middle school, we go to high school and college, university, grad school maybe, and we're learning about all of these amazing things outside of ourselves. But the one thing they don't really teach us is who we are. And I think that is something that we have to discover in our lives. It's something that we have to one day wake up and say, wait a second, who am I and what am I doing here and why am I here? What do I want to do in my life? And this is something that was woken up in me a couple years ago. And so as a result, it had such a huge impact on me that I wanted to share that with other people. So here I am today. So I help people to, I hold space for people. I am present and with people so that they're able to discover the different blocks in their life and how they can either move through those blocks or away from those blocks or get those blocks out of their life completely. And so that they can, make room for what's actually going to be worthwhile in their lives. Because a lot of the time we get comfortable and we feel like, oh, this is my life. This is what I'm doing. I go to work. I have a beautiful family, or I go to school. I'm doing these things in my life, but something is missing. Something is, we can't really figure out why am I not in joy all of the time? Why is my life not as fulfilling as I was told that it was supposed to be? Not exactly a life coach or counselor, Michelle, but I don't like to say life coach, and I am not a counselor. I did not go to school for that. So I'll keep going. But another thing that I help to do through some of the tools that I use, and I'll get into that later, is I actually anchor light into your different spiritual bodies, your physical body, your mental and emotional bodies. And when that light is, anchored within you, that's how you are able to see those blocks. That's how you're like, okay, this thing is happening and I can either respond this way or this way. Or maybe there's a way that you didn't even realize that you could respond. So, the way I do that is through something called life activation, and I can get into that more. And I've touched on that a few different times, but I'd rather just talk more about what I do and not exactly the techno babble of it. So I also try to help people to be the best person or best version of themselves. And a lot of this is, I open that door for them, or I try to open that door and show them like, okay, this is what are the possibilities that are before you, because a lot of the time we don't realize what those possibilities are. We don't realize our potential. We don't realize that our thoughts and our words actually create our realities. I also help people to love themselves, which I try to. Loving yourself is, it feels like everything goes back to loving yourself. What have you done today to show yourself some love? We're constantly giving to others, but we can't truly receive from someone else unless we're giving to ourselves first. So self-love is such a journey, and I love to help people to figure that part out and to actually, take the time to figure out what self-love and what loving themselves looks like for them, because we're all individual people with very different qualities, and so a lot of the time it looks very different for each and every one of us. Let's see, another thing I do is I help people to see the beauty inside of themselves as well as outside of themselves. And I've really discovered that through being a cosmetologist and, helping people to feel better about their external appearances, that it's so much deeper than that. And that's where the energy work really came in for me, because it wasn't until I started to receive different healings that I realized, like, oh wow, I am really beautiful in my own way. And it's been quite a journey for me to realize that about myself. So I feel that is such a nice side effect of getting this work done. And it's just really, it's really powerful when you can look in the mirror at yourself and look deeply within your own eyes and say, I love you, you are so beautiful, and actually mean it. Because I invite each and every one of you that's watching this, whether that be now or later, to practice that, to look into a mirror and really connect with yourself. Look into your eyes deeply and tell yourself, I love you, you are beautiful. And see how that feels for you. See how that feels in your body. See what comes up for you when you do that. Because it was kind of uncomfortable for me the first time that I did that, and it has been a really fun and interesting journey to continue that practice for myself, and it's still unraveling. And one thing that I have found through, seeing my own internal and external beauty is that as the more that I see my own internal beauty and appreciate and cherish and value my own internal beauty, it's reflected outwards, and it's really cool to watch that happen. Let's see now. I help people to become more present in their lives, to really just be in the moment, be here in this moment, and find the beauty of this moment. Like the opportunity that I have to get on here today and share all of this with each and one of you is really awesome, and I'm super grateful for that. Being more present and really seeing that beauty of whatever is around you, and seeing yourself as something beautiful in that moment is a really cool practice as well. So I invite you to be a little bit more present this evening and this weekend, because it's such an amazing gift, this world and this moment. I help people to realize that they are royal and that they should be living their lives as kings or queens. And it's funny because I was having a conversation with a friend recently, and I introduced this idea to him, and he said, oh, I'm a king. I like the way that sounds. And I was like, well, of course, like we're all kings and queens. And he said, well, that doesn't make it as special if everybody is a king or a queen. And I said, it does make it special, because not everybody is going to actually realize that about themselves. Not everybody has the opportunity to really look at themselves as that, or look at their lives as that. And so it does make it special if you can actually live that way. And one of my girlfriends recently, she's such a sweet angel, and I was really flattered when she told me this. She said that I inspire her to really get dressed up for herself, or put on makeup for herself, or do her hair, or adorn herself with beautiful things, and really be royal. And that was such a compliment, because for me, whenever I get up, I always want to put my best, for the most part. Some of you have seen me when I'm not so cute, but for the most part, I like to make sure that I look nice, and that in me looking nice and putting that effort into myself, it really does make me feel like a queen or a king, or not a king. I'm not a king, but it makes me feel like a queen. So, but that being royal is again, it kind of ties back into beauty. Is it's so much more than the outward appearance. Like, what are qualities of a queen? What are qualities of a king? Like, what do they do? How do they act? How do they move in the world? These are all really good questions to ask ourselves, and a lot of the time we don't really do that. We don't think about it like that. I feel like we all get really caught up in the hustle and bustle, and it's just, we keep just moving through the motions, and what's the fun in that? Where's the joy in that? So joy is something that should be experienced every single day, and can be experienced every single day, and we can really live our lives in joy if we realize that, and if we choose that. Of course, it's a lot easier said than done for most of us, but just letting people know that is an option for them is really powerful, I find. So another thing that I am, pretty passionate about is helping people to get into action in their lives, because a lot of the time we get stuck in the mind, and we can go back and forth with our negative ego, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, so you shouldn't do this, and oh no, don't do that. So it keeps us in this kind of stagnation. It keeps us still, and when we do that, we can't grow. With growth means moving. Growth means taking action in your life and doing things so that you won't be in that same position, because it's again so easy to just stagnate and to just stay right where we are, where it's comfortable, because this is what we know. And if we take a chance and move somewhere that isn't familiar, oh my gosh, what could happen? It could be a complete and total meltdown. So I'm just gonna stay right here and hope that maybe one day my life somehow will magically get better. But in my experience, that is not really something that happens. We have to move into action in our lives in order for things to get better. So that's another thing that I do. Another thing that I do is I show people that they have a choice in their lives. we were granted this amazing thing called free will. And with that free will comes so much responsibility, so much responsibility. And when people, realize that they have a choice, I mean, that changes everything. It changed everything for me. I felt like at one point that I didn't have a choice, that I had to stay where I was because that's what I knew. And that's the life that I had chosen for myself until that point. And that just wasn't accurate. Like we always have the choice to change things if they aren't working for us. So once we realize we have free will, we have a choice, then we can actually, we can think about moving things into action. But again, it's easier said than done. So I do hair and I do makeup. And, with hair and makeup, again, it's such an external thing. And as soon as somebody sits down in my chair, if they're a new client, typically, they start telling me about all the things they don't like about the way that they look. And it makes me really sad when they do that, but it is such a great opportunity for the two of us to shift that for them. Because I see such beauty in each and every one of my clients when they step into my salon. And I see so much potential, and I see so much light and so much love that they are unaware of is there and available to them. And so when they sit down and we have this consultation, what I like to do is redirect that, perceived negative energy that they might have, or negative thought processes that they might have towards themselves, into something better, into something greater, because that is the human potential. We have the potential to, again, be anything that we want. And we were given these bodies that look a certain way and evoke a certain feeling for some. And that's a really amazing thing. And as soon as we can all start loving and appreciating these, I like to call it a spaceship sometime, really loving and appreciating our spaceships for what they are, it can really shift things for us in our whole world. So hair and makeup, I love it, and it allows me a place to be creative and to really bring out different qualities in people that they may not recognize. Because like somebody could say like, oh, I don't like, when my bang hits this way, but they have these amazing cheekbones. And so I can like highlight that, maybe just really bring out these different things that they're not seeing, because typically most of the time, pretty much every time, I don't think it's happened in a really long time, or maybe even ever, but when I'm finished working on a client, they look at themselves and they're like, wow, I'm beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, you were beautiful the moment you walked in here. I just, blew out your hair and gave you a haircut, But it is so much more whenever I do somebody's hair or makeup. It's really almost a healing within itself, because, we will typically talk about things that, they probably aren't used to talking about with their hairstylist, and things will come up for them, and together we will move through them. And it's almost like a mini kind of session, a mini healing session or mini energy session every time I do someone's hair or makeup. And I have some clients that, come to me for both, and they have such an amazing experience each time that they come in. And it's really amazing to watch them grow in their lives after they've had these different things done for them. So if you have, experienced hair or makeup with me, some people like to say that I like cut energetic ties or karmic cords, and for a lot of my clients that I have a lot of clients that are really into spirituality and stuff like that, so we will actually like very intentionally cut their hair and very intentionally cut away what's not working in their lives and cut away parts of them that they are ready to release. That way that with their new style, they are able to call in the things that they want and manifest the things in their life that they really want. And that leads me into something else. So another thing that I do is I help people to release what isn't serving them in their lives, so that they are able to stand stronger, so that they are able to, be more centered and feel more empowered in their lives. And I do that through cutting hair, and I do that through some energy work that I do as well. So it can be really powerful when those two things are combined together, because I physically can cut those things out of your life with the haircut, and then, emotionally and spiritually and mentally, I can cut those things out of your life as well. So it's really cool that I have the opportunity to share that with people, and it's something that I get as regular maintenance, because we don't realize all the energy that is plugged into us all of the time until it isn't. And so a lot of the time people will, recently I had somebody who I did an energetic cord cutting for, and they said that they had slept better than they had slept in months, and they finally felt better and more themselves. And that's something that I get a lot, as like people are like, wow, I just like all of a sudden I have all this energy, or all of a sudden like it's me and it's only me. And it's really, really powerful for people for that to happen for them. So recommend that one. So I've kind of talked a little bit about how I do these things. So how am I able to, anchor light? How am I able to energetically cut cords? Well, that's a great question. I am able to do that through my studies with the Modern Mystery School. I have gone to multiple classes, and I have gone to multiple certifications and recertifications to bring these tools to the public, to bring these tools to people that are seeking to feel more empowered, be the creator of their own life, and to know themselves. So I've gone and I've done studies with the Modern Mystery School, and of course I'm certified in Texas to do hair. You don't have to be certified to do makeup, but I get recertified as like every single year with the Modern Mystery School, which the Modern Mystery School is not New Age. The Modern Mystery School is the lineage of King Solomon. And what does that mean exactly? So that lineage is something that in our lineage is handed down from teacher to student by mouth, and has been taught in the exact same way for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And so that's where all of the different tools and healings and clearings and stuff like that I offer, that's where they all come from. So it's been a really amazing experience to go and learn how to do these different healings and energy, different energy work within the Modern Mystery School in the lineage of King Solomon, because these are things that have been around for so long and they have not been changed over time, because when you change something, that takes away like how powerful these things are. And so that means also that they have been time tested for thousands of years. Oh no, did I lose connection? Okay, I'm good. Yeah, lineage is so important to me, because it makes me know that I'm doing something that, somebody didn't just make up one day. And because our lineage is, handed down in the way that it is, and because we are required to get recertified every year, when we do the recertification, they watch us to make sure we are doing these things correctly in the right order as they were done thousands of years ago. So to me, that makes it so much more powerful, because it's cleaner. Because somebody's not like, oh, I'm gonna sprinkle in like a little bit of pixie dust here and do this there. Like, no, you have to do it the way that it has been done, and that again makes it really work. So yeah, that is in a nutshell, a really long nutshell, what I do. I help people I open the door and facilitate a space for people to become the best versions of themselves. And, some people are not ready for that. A lot of people aren't ready for that. But for those of you that are ready for that, I am here for you, and I would love to work with you in whatever capacity you need, because it's just important that right now we, as the human consciousness, can start to shift within ourselves, start to move towards inner peace. The mission of the Modern Mystery School is world peace, but we can't obtain world peace until we have peace within ourselves. So that's what I do. I help people to find that peace within themselves. I help begin that process. In the next few years, I will move further down the path of knowing myself, and as a result, helping others to know themselves fuller. And I'll receive other certifications and different things so that I can help bring even more light to people's lives. So yeah, that's really exciting. I'm really grateful if you have stuck around this whole time to watch and listen. And if you have received any work from me in the past, whether that be hair or healing or energy work, whatever it is, however we have worked together, if you would just leave a comment about your experience with me, and maybe whatever has shifted for you in your life since working with me, I would be really appreciative of that. And then for those of you who haven't worked with me, I would love to hear if you have any questions about what it is that I do, or really just anything you want to know about this topic or otherwise, because I'm always open to, I'm going to be doing this for the next year every single day. Such a commitment that I'm making, so I'll definitely need more things to talk about. So yes, I would love to hear from you, and I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful Saturday night. I hope you're able to eat some wonderful food, maybe spend some time with some friends, and just really be present and enjoy this moment. So thanks everyone, and have a great Saturday. Thanks.